Nation of Fitin10, it is day 70. It is the final day of Fitin10. And this is our 15th challenge. And I've heard myself say this over and over again, but I'm just going to say it. It feels like just yesterday I said, before you know it, of course I said this on day one, before you know it, it will be day 70. And of course, day 70 is here. 10 weeks is not a long time. And I want to commend you all for, first of all, sticking it out. And second of all, taking on something that is so advanced as this challenge. It is advanced. The training is advanced. And the diet aspect is a lot. You know, you've got to be really, really rigid from your numbers right from the get-go. This is very, very intimidating. And, you know, so I want to commend you guys for doing this and for really giving it your all. And, you know, this is my wheelhouse. This is my area of expertise largely. And so it's easy for me, right? It's easy for me to just say, do this and do that. But for all of you, you're learning, okay? Especially, I should say most of you, a lot of you, some of you, excuse me, have done this challenge before. But still, for all of you, it's still relatively new or very new. And I know this. And, you know, I just want to commend you guys for having the courage to do a challenge of this nature, of this caliber, because it demands a lot. Which reminds me, some people have been asking me, or it came up in conversation, this challenge is what I consider to be, you know, advanced enough that we're really going to do a prelude challenge. So we're going to start a prelude to Fitin10. And I'm going to highly encourage people to do that one before, if they haven't done Fitin10 before they do the Fitin10. And the prelude will be, you know, a lot of what we do in Fitin10, but it'll be scaled down. It'll be much more simpler, and it's going to give you a much better understanding or foundation before coming into Fitin10. Anyways, I guess I shouldn't really talk about it because none of you will be doing the prelude because you've experienced Fitin10 already. All right, listen, I want to just mention a few things about calories because calories are something that people tend to go way too low on. And as you know, through the challenge, you got a reasonably high amount of calories. I wouldn't say it's too high, but you know, if you look at your estimated BMR, for instance, on your scan sheet, and you look at the calories I gave you, you'll see just from that alone that you're in a deficit, right? Not that your calories are below your BMR, of course, that would be a bit silly, but that they're not much over, right? So we know you're in a deficit. And so the calories are really, really important. And I went through just a few reasons yesterday, and I'm going to relist those, but I'm going to list out a number of other ones because I do not want you to get in the trap, and hopefully you won't, of going super low calorie because it will not be something that is sustainable, okay? So here we go. We want to maintain metabolic inefficiency, right? We want to keep our BMR running as energy inefficient as possible. We want that BMR to be as high as possible, right? We want to expend as much energy doing nothing daily, right? We want that metabolic inefficiency. We want it to be protein sparing. We want energy to help spare muscle, right? And not only to spare muscle, there's actually two reasons when I say this, but to spare the function of protein itself. We don't want to use protein for energy. We want protein to act as a building block. So I'll go right to number 4 because there's two reasons there. Number 4, satiation. Okay, now obviously there's going to be different foods that have greater satiation. Protein's more satiating and fat's more satiating than carbohydrates. But ultimately, if you have more calories, you know, you're going to feel more satiated ultimately, especially if we're eating very voluminous foods. Real whole food, right? We want to keep our NEAT high. This is our non-exercise activity. This is like, you know, what I'm doing right now. I'm talking with you, I'm moving around. When your calories go too low, your NEAT will drop. So it's just like you're spinning your wheels. You reduce your calorie input, but then you reduce your calorie output. It's like, why? Number 6, variety. You want some variety in your diet. It's very hard to get enough of variety if your calories are very low, right? We want to get some variety. And this is, this is important just for the aspect of following something, right? We want to have something that is going to be enjoyable, and for a lot of people, that enjoyment includes variety, right? We want nutrition for health. We want to be able to get enough nutrition. If we don't eat enough, we don't get enough of the essential nutrients. We want to think long term, right? Long term. We're always thinking long term. Low calories is not long term. Low calories is short term. Low calories will result in a rebound. We want to have efficient training. We can't have efficient training, especially weight training. We can't have athletic function. We can't function optimally on super low calories. And finally, and there's more, but I'm just going to stop here, okay? Finally, recovery. Recovery. We want optimal recovery. We need the building blocks and we need the energy to facilitate recovery. Which, by the way, with weight training, just so you know, it's not about the calories that you're burning in the class, although that's great, but it's also the calories that are required for recovery during that, for lack of better words, I'm going to reuse this word, muscle recovery, okay, during those couple days afterwards, okay, or for really up to, depending on how good your nutrition is, your recovery might take up to 4 to 5 days. Okay, that is an increase in your metabolic. That takes a higher metabolic. There's stuff happening, right, to recover you. So you've got this sort of after effect from weight training. You're not going to get that from doing cardiovascular work, but that's another topic. And I'm not saying don't do cardiovascular work. I'm just saying, okay, or you're not going to get nearly as much of that afterburn effect. There's a term for it, and what is that term? I don't know why it's slipping my mind. Mine's not working. Maybe working too long. I don't know. Anyways, so when it comes to your diet, and you are going to get an email from me very shortly, it's going to be a formal breakdown of what to do. It will tell you exactly what to do, and it will still be macro based. But I want to say, in the grand scheme of things, keep weight training, keep your weight training in, keep your cardiovascular up. So do cardiovascular exercise. So 3 hours of weight training per week. Cardiovascular work, well, we could vary this from, anywhere from half an hour 3 times a week to, depending on what you want to do, maybe half an hour a day. I will say, more importantly, keep up your NEAT. This is your non-exercise activity. This is just your energy that you expend during the day, basically doing non-exercise stuff. But, you can kind of expand this by doing things like parking at the end of a parking lot. So you can create extra steps, right? And speaking of steps, let's try to keep those steps up around at least 5,000 per day, okay? Every day. We just need to have some general movement. Okay, and finally, we want to make sure that we keep those calories reasonable. Again, look at your BMR. Again, this is the amount of energy that it takes to keep the lights on, so to speak. Okay, this has nothing to do with thermic effect of food, the energy it takes to digest food. It has nothing to do with the energy expenditure, the amount of energy you expend doing, the exercise energy expenditure. It has nothing to do with, of course, your non-exercise, the energy that it takes just to do your daily activities, walking around, getting dressed, whatever, making food, having an argument, whatever, right? So make sure you keep your calories high. This keeps you, for all the reasons that I listed here, it keeps you very metabolically inefficient. Of course, we're always talking about a happy medium. We don't want calories too high. We don't want them too low, right? Okay, we always want to think long term, unless, of course, it's not important to you. But if maintaining your health, if maintaining your body composition, okay, more simplistically, just your body weight, we want to look at these. We want to look at calories in a what I would consider to be a much more healthy manner, right? Okay, let's get to the message of the day on this final day. And do I have it open? Of course, my computer crashed. So let me get it open here. Message of the day on this final day of the 2021 Fall Fitin10, our 15th challenge. All right, it's going to be one of my favorites, and I really, it's a simple one. I really want you to take this home. If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, if it's gonna happen, it is up to you. So find a way and make it happen. Don't be emotional about it. I know it's hard, especially when it comes to weight loss. Be methodical, watch that energy intake, and be, of course, diligent with your energy expenditure, okay? But obviously we can expand this message of the day for many other things. Ultimately, it's just about being responsible for where we are today. And we are largely almost 100% responsible for where we are today. Okay, if it is to be, it's up to you. Okay, we are among the luckiest people on this earth. We have so many options at our disposal. We have so many opportunities that are available to us, and everything's at our fingertips, literally, right? We are very lucky. We can change, virtually, we can change any situation that we are in into a more favorable situation, right? All right, I'm just blabbing, so you're probably tired of hearing me. All right, you guys, next weekend we have a Zoom finale, and so I will send you all an email about that, and I will see you for your scans over the next couple of days, all right? Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I will see you sooner than not, hopefully. And for those of you who did the scans, hopefully I will see you, because there was a couple that did them early. I will see you in the new year. See you guys.